Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Control. Today we're going to start the Foundation, which is Control's first story expansion. And you just started up with this new quest that they add in the post-game. Once you download the DLC, you load the game up, and it's just there. And it tasks us first with going to use the hotline to talk to the board, which we can do easily from this new corridor that opened up in our office.
Problem in the Foundation. That was Auti's vacation spot. We need to check this out.
Yeah, remember that enormous cavernous spot under the oldest house where we met up with Auti in the late game? That's where we're going back to. That area itself is not the Foundation, but it gives us a literal doorway to it. Also, I don't know if I definitely didn't. I just unlocked this earlier. This really cool sticky note room. It's hidden behind a level 3 or a level 4 lock, so we never got back to that in the main game after we got the keycard, the appropriate one. It is a cool little room. There's stuff like that scattered all over, in case you're traipsing back through the oldest house in the post-game, cleaning up side quests. There's always something kind of cool to discover. Some kind of locked room that you didn't even think twice about when you passed it the first time through. So this DLC is actually going to shed a lot of light on the lineage of FBC directors. We got to know a little bit about Trench.
Dark, quiet, trans-dimensional. This place really suits Auti. So that etching is the door. Okay, let's try opening it.
This one goes further back than Trench. It deals a lot with Northmore's time as director, and also who came before him as predecessors.
No time for sightseeing. The board said this was an emergency.
Can't make out too much just yet, but you can faintly see the red sand.
Looks like no one's been down here in a while.
And now that we have some light, looks like some kind of limestone cave. The contrast between red and white is really, really pretty. And now we're about to step out into the light proper so we can get a better look around.
Those crystals are kind of pretty.
Oh, the crystals
Emily would
too.
be having a field day down here.
Yeah, that'll be another prominent feature of the environment. And I'm going to be really careful to scour this area because there's a note that I want to talk about and I don't want to miss. And I don't remember exactly where it is.
My life's been a strange one. Certainly stranger than I'd like. But this place, it's something else. The floors crawl, the walls slither. It's a shifting pit. On the street, it's just another drab building standing there for anyone to see. But no one does. How do we miss it? Northmore. Acting directly for Northmore now is on a train from Washington. He'll expect answers, which is why I'm making these tapes. They're evidence that I'm at least trying to understand. Father searched his entire life for something like this, and we find it 1 week after he's buried. always hated irony. Of course, Father, the great director, Ash, would have been the first man in. And look at me, his bookworm son, the supposed head of research who can't stop his legs from shaking long enough to step over the threshold.
So you heard Ash call Northmore acting director. Ash is the old head of research and the son
Foundation. Bottom of the oldest house.
of the old director.
Stop the hiss.
Marshall? How was she on the hotline? Unless she's dead. Jesus. She seemed like the kind of woman who could survive anything.
We're gonna get that full conversation. She plays a huge role in this story.
I only heard of the Foundation when I became head of operations. The very bottom of the oldest house. Director access only. Just the name alone is classified. Zachariah gave me a tour the day I was promoted. Said I should see it for myself, to understand. After that, I snuck down on my own from time to time to keep tabs on the place, and on them. But nothing ever changed down there. Not even the walls. It's solid, permanent, different from the rest of the house. Of course, they were always watching me. I never stayed long. I'm not stupid. I have to stop the hiss from finding this place. I'm the only one who can.
So Marshall apparently died down here trying to stop the hiss from corrupting the foundation of the oldest house. Something which is shrouded in mystery from pretty much all of us. And we're going to learn whatever Ash learned eventually. Oh, they didn't even give me a chance to launch a stalactite. I'm going to spend a little bit of time using spin. I sorely neglected it throughout the main LP. I don't like it very much, but we should give it a little bit of shine at least. The funny thing is, I've been talking about the game with Arth, who just started playing it, and he told me he really liked it. Thought it was overpowered, which I don't know how. Ooh, not gonna win with that angle. Or bonk in my head. Wait, what? What stopped me from... I couldn't get height on that jump. I don't think this is gonna work. I will probably end up having to come to that from the other side. I'm not sure about that. There are a couple of routes that fork off from this part of the cave, but all of them dead end pretty quickly. So there's only one real route forward. So no chance of getting lost this early. And we're going to start getting introduced to some of our unique mechanics and features to the Foundation. I think just up ahead. Oh no, we're getting our first new enemy. Oh no, I'm wrong about that too. That is not yet. These are just regular Hiss soldiers. And our first control point. Located kind of in the middle of this cave system. Just a handy checkpoint in case anything goes seriously wrong coming up. So that crystalline structure that we saw earlier, Jesse commented on, it's blocking our access from that safe, or that chest. Gonna have to do something about that later on. Is this the one I'm thinking of? Oh no, this is cave paintings. I really, really like the aesthetic of this place, by the way. It's... Oh, and the green crystals, too. It's the combination of... These are the new ones. I think these are called sharpened. They are wielding pickaxes, and they are hauling ass. They're hauling every ass. Look at them go. Ooh, and they can swing. I think they can also throw the pickaxes, so they do have a ranged attack. But the danger of them is mostly that they are spry. Not sure if there's another one. Ah, yeah, there.
I guess we're using pickaxes now.
It's the combination of desaturated limestone and this really pretty red sand. And the blinding, like, kind of bleaching lights above that wash it out a little bit gives this place a real unique visual identity.
Structures. Is that the astral plane? How is that possible?
And then
It's
that's...
worse than I thought. I need to figure out what's going on.
That's the coup de grace, is the astral plane bleeding in. Those harsh geometric forms of the astral plane at that. This one does mention an ex-Nazi and how they would have lunch with him, an ex-Nazi scientist. Put a pin in that. Keep that one in mind. We're gonna come back to that. After all, this is called the Foundation. So what do Nazis have to do with the foundation of the FBC? This organization literally built around maintaining control. What might the Nazis have to do with the themes and allegories we've untangled in this game? Just keep some things in mind about what we know about the structure of the FBC, what they're normalizing within their office bureaucratic culture here. Keep some of that in mind. Until we finally come across what it is that the board wanted us to look into on this so far pretty linear path.
The astral plane is cutting into our dimension. What if this happens in the upper floors? It'll destroy the bureau.
What a cool visual and what a cool use of space. Also, we have... I need to take cover before that thing starts popping off at me. Well, I think we're actually in, like, the ideal spot to deal with this problem. Yeah. I love how all of this, all of the surfaces in the astral plane are kind of flecked with this golden substance.
I wish I brought him in with me. I could really use my head of research right about now.
Marshall? Marshall! You're alive! Wait! It's Jesse! The director!
So something is strange about Marshall being in the hotline and how she apparently died off screen.
Marshall?
She was on the hotline, so that person couldn't have been Marshall, right? One problem at a time. Let's see what's going on with that pillar first.
In this apparition of Marshall, we also have this cool-ass ebony obelisk in the middle of the cave, which seems to have some kind of special significance to the Foundation. First, let's claim this control point, and then we are going to go scrounging, looking for a certain memo, which I think is rather illuminating. And it's going to tie into that thing that we put a pin in from earlier in a big bad way. I think this must be it. Oh yeah, ley lines. This is the one. Okay, so the oldest house's ley lines converge here and yada yada, and this thing is called the Nail, which is pretty cool. But look at that last paragraph. Let's just hope Dr. Wagner is as smart as his dearly departed Führer thinks him to be. Or rather, once believed him to be, whatever. Northmore recruited a former Nazi scientist to research the oldest house. This is an echo of the real-life Operation Paperclip, in which some German scientists were relocated to the US and hired by the government to work on weapons and engineering challenges related to the space race. Many of those scientists were former Nazis, and some of them were leaders of the Nazi Party.
It's been 5 days since we first entered the building. Traversing the interior is dangerous due to the shifting, but we did manage to find a lower cavern that seems structurally predictable, which is a scientific way of saying its walls won't crush us in our sleep. Northmore even made a discovery. A pistol placed on a stone pedestal in front of that strange ebony pillar. Seems like something out of a storybook, except the heroes usually find swords, not handguns. But it is the perfect lure for someone like him. Hours after finding this weapon, Northmore cornered me to spout some nonsense about how the board had made him the director. He ranted about the title being meaningless before now, calling Father and all other previous directors shams, frauds, and worse. I think this place is worse for Northmore than it is for me. Strangest thing? There was no pedestal in front of that pillar a day ago. This building has swallowed a dozen of my men, and now it's handing out presents? Is it playing some sort of game? If it is, we're most certainly losing. Hell, we don't even know the rules.
So the title of director is validated specifically by the board through the service weapon. The director becomes the director by charge of the board, and the board imbues them with this weapon to go out and do their will. And then we have the Nazi stuff on top of that. So this is a pretty chilling parallel to history. It's also not out of nowhere for Control. After all, this game is about systems of control, hierarchical power structures, technologies of governance, and the normalization of all of this. This expansion is called the Foundation, and this is a core thing that we just started it off learning about the FBC. It was built with the help of a scientist whom Hitler spoke highly of, and who Northmore eagerly collaborated with. The FBC's foundation is built on fascism. The FBC's foundation from which they built up and normalized all these very cop-like systems of control, that foundation is white supremacy. And that's how we start the Foundation off. Thank you all for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one, y'all.